Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of 22 Minutes with Jason and Stefan. I am Jason Bates, as you can see down below, and no applause for me today. Maybe. No? There it is. I'm going to play it. Stefan's clapping for me. I'm going to bring you the lender side of things.
That's a slow clap.
You're a slow clap. This is Stefan Cotton. He's going to bring us the realtor side of things for today's show. Together, we hope to not only entertain you, but also bring you the valuable content that you can actually use when you're looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property. So if you're looking to do that or know anybody who is, please have them reach out to us. We'd love to help them out. And also, if you would, it's real easy. Head over to our Facebook page and just like our page. Share with your friends and family. That would be fantastic as well. We'd appreciate that support.
That would be awesome.
If you're new to the show and you're new to watching us or seeing our faces, this show is about real estate. We do this Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Arizona time. So by liking our page, you'll get notifications that, hey, we're live. So that'd be pretty cool too, right? Pretty easy. Yeah. Facebook makes that easy. Hey, this is Friday. We're going to get to Reflection of Friday, but we always do a tweet quote of the day. So let's get to that. Little technical glitch there with your name all over there.
Oh.
Your name was still popping up. Hey, Confucius, man. I like Confucius.
Yes.
They don't have Confucius in the cookies anymore, do they? Didn't that used to be a Confucius thing?
I don't know if it's always Confucius quotes, but I think it was always something. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Now they just say, here's your lucky numbers.
Yeah, here's your lottery numbers. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. What? Tortoise and the hare? Right?
Right.
So if you're in pursuit of buying a home, hey, it'll happen. Just stay focused. Stay focused. Make sure you hire the right team too, right? Right, Stefan?
Right. Exactly. We've had a few transactions that were slow, but we kept getting things done little bit by little bit, and loan docs are at title. So it wasn't the fastest transaction. How quickly can we close? That's not the question. The question is, will we close?
Yes.
And we don't give up.
No, we don't. As frustrated as we may get, we don't give up.
Right.
You sending me subliminal messages there, Stefan?
No, man, we got loan docs at title. I'm excited. Got to figure out a way to get them assigned.
We'll get it done. Hey, I want to reflect on the week that was. We had a, well, I don't know if you want to say it or I can say it, but we had a viewer who actually reached out to us. Sorry, I got something in my eye here.
Me too.
Who reached out to us? Oh my! I got a tear in my eye.
It really happened.
It really happened. We actually had a client, not a client, but a viewer, if you will, reach out to us from Las Vegas, and she watched our episode on Open Door. I'm not even sure, when did we do that? 6 months ago?
It's at least 3 months back.
Yeah. We did it quite some time ago, and she gave us some validation actually, which was really made us feel pretty good. Made me feel pretty good. She said everything that we said actually happened.
Yep.
She's like, you guys are spot on. You guys said exactly what would happen. I'm in the middle of a transaction right now. I'm supposed to close November 15th, and it happened. It is happening.
Yep.
And really her thing was she originally listed her house for just over $300,000, $333 to be exact.
Yep.
Thousand. Didn't sell with a realtor. And then went to Open Door. Open Door gave her an offer of $294. Gave her a list of items that needed to be, or that were detracting or whatever from the value, I guess, in their eyes, from the property, justifying.
Step one, they gave the offer $294. Well, $294 sounds great. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
She took the offer, and then what'd they do?
Then they did a home inspection.
Yep.
Well, they did the home inspection, then gave her the offer, is what they did. Okay. So they gave the home inspection, then they came back and said, okay, $294. And that's their offer. Now she's trying to get them to come up a little bit because 294 is a little tight for her. But the one thing that that I reviewed with her or went over with her was at 333,000. And Stefan, I use your calculation all the time. Subtract 10% off from that value or from that price, right? And explain the 10%. What makes up that 10%?
So I'm going to do this. 6% is
move it over a little bit. You're out of frame. There you go.
6%. 6% is commissions, right? Buyer's agent gets 3, listing agent gets 3. 3% more, so we're up to 9. 3% more is if the buyer needs help with closing costs, and then 1% is typically title fees. So 10% seems to be like the worst case scenario. Right. Sometimes you don't have to pay those concessions, but if you did, always do 10%, and you'll be happier at the end. So 33,000 off of the 330 makes it 300.
Makes it 300, and they offered 294.
They offered 294, but this is what I'm telling you, Jason, because you know, this is the part of the show that we talked about that maybe you need to watch 5 months ago. It's 294, but then they add about 6% or 7.5% or 5.5%, any number, 10%. They add their own closing costs on top of it. So because they want you as the seller to pay for their commissions on the back end. So it'll be 294, but then they're going to have another 7% reduction, hold back, if you will. Sales price is this. You're going to hold back another. What is that? 21,000. So her net is actually going to be closer to 270 at the end of the day, versus a net at 300. So
yeah. So she's not too happy. I guess it sounded pretty sexy. The ease of the transaction, I guess consistency or the predictability of the transaction sounds pretty appealing to people, but you're paying a pretty heavy price for that.
Yeah.
Right. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Somebody made a comment for once. It was
I
you.
did. Yeah.
You never do that.
I know. I did that.
I did that. Wow. We sound like the public radio. Wow. So I did that. Yeah. So back to Open Door, right?
It's not a unconfidence voice. Yeah.
It's not a slam on Open Door. It's not a slam on OfferPad or any of those companies that offer you a quick offer. They offer you a quick offer, quick solution, quick, easy. When you want to close, we'll close. By the way, we're going to come in lower. Is that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
And there's a market for that. There is a market for that, for certain. So the other thing too, I want to reflect on too, aside from that client. So, hey, we are reachable. That's the takeaway, I guess, from that. But also, I'm seeing more activity this week, more application activity this week, which is good. A bit surprising to me, a little bit. But I'll tell you, before the crash in 2008 or whatever, I would always, in my business, see a little bit of an uptick in November, which means applications were, more in October. So, are we getting back to maybe a little bit of a normal kind of market? Maybe.
I think. I mean, what's normal? I mean,
yeah, that's true.
We'll go to the numbers here in a little bit too and see what trends were kind of, and we're going to go specifically into town, but we can do a whole Maricopa. Yeah. But I've never had. I'll tell you, my slowest month has traditionally, if I looked at my 7 or 8 year track record, November. So October has always been my slowest month. October, so that means September for me.
Yeah.
So September means hardly any closings in October.
Yeah.
I know this because it's my wife's birthday in November. I'm not going to give the exact date unless anybody wants to know. Then I will. But when I first started selling real estate, our cell phone would go off because of lack of payment on her birthday, at least twice. There might have been a third time where, hey, honey, I know it's your birthday. I need $200 to turn on the phone. So, oh my goodness! So humbling, but yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive into these numbers here, shall we?
Okay. All right. And enough about that. What about my reflection?
Well, go ahead. Reflect. Let's reflect.
All right. I guess that was a good reflection. The whole November thing. I guess I had a few things I wanted to talk about, but if you want to get into the numbers, let's get cracking.
No,
We're halfway through.
you got the stage, my brother.
All right, I'm famous. Well, again, we have a couple hard transactions. We have a couple easy transactions going on. The I think my reflection is I want to talk a little bit about a new build because it's irking one of my clients, and I just get this off my chest. There's a new build, and if they don't remedy this, then I'm going to start name dropping who they are. There's a new build that we went under contract with about 6 months ago, maybe longer, maybe 7 or 8 months. Since then, the sales lady is fired, replaced. The junior supervisor, or the supervisor's assistant, whoever the one we're talking to, left. And now recently the landscaping company that we liked got replaced by one that has 1 star on Yelp. So our whole communication has been halted and issued, and there's a couple other issues that happened with like a water spout that they ignored us for 6 weeks, and now they say, okay, it's too late to change. They gave us a 21-day notice. They'll give you a 21-day notice to prepare to close. That means we're 21 days from finishing the house. They gave that to us 2 nights ago, but they post-dated it on October 5th, so they want my client to close this thing on the 26th. Without that, so it's just it's just I'm up to my boiling point. My client has been up past his boiling point for a while. But if they don't fix this and they don't put the right, we don't want a landscaper that doesn't know what they're doing. We don't want a 1-star landscaper. That's not why we bought a house there. Right. You know, so
there's a certain level of professionalism, you know, that you kind of expect from a new build, right? I mean, not that you don't expect that from a seller on an existing home either. However, on a new build, I mean, come on, they're in the building business. I mean, you don't hire some that kind of plays into a deal I've got going right now. That contractor, he's a licensed contractor, albeit, you know, cabinetry, but he's a licensed contractor, hires an unlicensed roofer. It's like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
And they're flipping a house, a weekend warrior kind of, you know, deal, flipper, not being professional. Builders, same kind of thing, man. Don't always get the highest level of service when it comes to new builds, unfortunately.
I just find it weird that they're trying to squeeze us into a 7-day close. He's cash, you know, County sold his house, and so he's sitting on this money waiting for this house to close. But my client doesn't want to close if they don't. First off, the landscaping's not done. They're hiring, and then we got to get a guarantee that the landscaping is going to be good. I mean,
well, do you think that they're taking advantage of him because he is cash?
I think he's out of state and he's cash, and I think, I mean,
and it's end of the month.
Yeah,
there's some factors going on there. They want the numbers for the end of the month. That's a sale that they can squeeze in there to make their numbers look good for their stockholders and shareholders. Builders are notorious for that. Here's the thing.
They don't make this thing right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if they don't make this right, I'll be talking about them probably next Friday, and I'll be hashtagging them and talking about them quite a bit next Friday.
Builders are notorious. I did a lot of turndowns for builders back in the day, and I decided I told myself I'll do them with the right builder. But there are a lot of wrong builders out there. They do not care about the consumer. They do not care about the process. All they care about is the paycheck at the end of the day.
The new sales associate over there, since the one that we started working with got fired or whatever, left, he's always saying, well, we want to make your client happy. I go, well, then do what we're asking. Do something.
Exactly. Do right.
You know?
Do right. All right. Let's get out of negative town there. You're bringing me down, brother. But
Sorry, man.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I really, really do, man. I really do. All right. Let's get into the numbers. All right. Active listings here. We'll get into active listings. Let me shut my screen here. So I'm going to look over to my other screen here a little bit. So given all listings, you know, if you've watched the show before, this is Maricopa County. Well, actually, it's a few different counties: Pinal, Yavapai County, all counties. 17,000 total listings. But we like to narrow this down to like normal, because there's really not much REO or anything going on right now.
Right.
What happened?
click on all, then you got to get
Yeah.
the normal.
Yeah, refreshed. It does like a little refresh every 5 minutes.
Yeah. New data.
New
There you go.
data.
Not much changed.
Not much change
300
there.
houses, 400. Yeah. And we're going to
Single
go to only
family's
the
kind of,
houses.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just focus on the single family deals there. So 14,000. But you'll notice we talked about this too. The trend is trending upward.
Yep.
You know, and if we scroll down here, even last year it kind of did the same thing, right?
Your
Although
photos in the way.
Sorry, scroll over. It kind of did the same thing here last year.
Yep. Right. Let's see when it takes that big dip. Let's look at that and make that prediction for next year. Right. Where are we at? January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Lowest inventory.
Mm-hmm. Came down now. Yeah, but it didn't seem to, kind of rebound. It kind of, I don't know. I would think that it would kind of go down from the demand a little bit. This is where I say, well, I thought maybe in June, July, whatever, it would go down a little bit more than what it actually did. But
So the inventory kind of flows. And for everybody that's just watching, the high day is probably Sunday. The lowest day is probably Wednesday. When you're looking at these just little nooks, these are 7-day little bites. Because what happens is most people put their inventory on the MLS on Thursday, so people can look at it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If I wrote an offer for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they usually don't go into escrow until Monday. So that then they move off of the chain.
Yeah.
So that's probably a Sunday if we were to look at that. Yep, there's a Sunday, 10:15.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is the number of houses that are active. We're not really talking about the transaction numbers, and that's something we can look at too, because in January all the way to April and May and June, our transaction numbers are higher. We're doing more transactions, but this year in particular, what Jason's hitting on is the inventory has been the same, meaning that we might have had 7,000 closings in this month, but we also had 7,000 listings come up at the same time.
Right.
So that's why we haven't seen the traditional, okay, we have more closings than houses are hitting the market. So that's usually that supply demand
right
thing.
Which tells you there's high demand and there's plenty of, well, not plenty, but the demand equals the supply almost, which is the housing shortage that a lot of people kind of speak of.
Right.
As fast as they come on, they go off, kind of thing. So this is just Scottsdale. I wanted to focus on Scottsdale here just a little bit, but 1,900 closings or listings, excuse me, currently in Scottsdale, and that's, you can see this kind of goes up a little bit higher. Now the price point on these is a little bit higher traditionally than the overall Valley average, but still not too bad, really, not too bad as far as number of listings. When we had the peak here, 2,300.
See, okay, so there's a good example, because March, I call it March Madness.
Yeah.
And I always tell my agents, if you can't find a buyer in March, then you probably shouldn't be a realtor, because what you have in March is baseball, preseason baseball here. You got 30,000 fans coming in every week.
Yeah.
You got great values in houses, and you got other stuff. You have the golf tournament in February. Just a beautiful time to be here in March.
Yeah.
All the snowbirds are still here.
So we'll go to average per city sales price, and there'll be a couple charts here that we'll probably get into here.
Sure.
Come on. We'll go all single family. We'll kind of do the same thing here that we did before. Sorry, I'll bring it over here a little bit.
Shouldn't change too much. Although the condos are typically just cheaper. The mobile homes are typically cheaper than single family.
Yeah.
By 20K on average. There you go.
Yeah, and we'll just do normal. You want to do normal?
Yeah.
Although I got a call today from a gentleman who's a realtor, has a potential short sale. The bank's not even willing to entertain the short sale, and is going to allow it to go into foreclosure because they think, or they said that the realtor didn't give enough time to market the property.
Right.
Sorry, didn't click normal there. And so they're going to let it go into foreclosure. But he told me about, I forget the name of the company. He thinks it's going to turn into a rental. I guess there's a company out there that's buying a lot of these properties and turning them into rentals. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah.
I forget what the name of
Um,
that company is. It begins with a P or something, I thought.
yeah, hold on. They're doing. We had to get their stuff approved. This is a we handle a couple of rentals a month, and it seemed like they had all of the rental listings in Buckeye, like
Yeah.
so all different points of contact. And who was that? They have a very strict algorithm that's one third of your income to approve
Uh-huh.
it. And this lady was getting Social Security, so usually you can kind of add 0.25 or something to because it's already been taxed. But we couldn't get her approved through these guys because she was off by like $40 a month. Um,
Wow.
And I was like, listen, get on the human factor. She has no debt. There is no
Right.
other,
Right.
this and utilities and food, but
Right.
their algorithms wouldn't allow her to get approved.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay, so this one here, this tells us the average monthly sales price of a home. This is Scottsdale that we just did,
yep,
603,000 average. So you can
sweet.
see, even though 1,900 properties, average sales price 603,000. That's really not too bad, in my opinion. I don't know. I would think that that
Yeah,
they're
where was it at the peak there? Looks like what's the highest one? And that looks like to
seven
be
in
what,
June.
October or June? Okay.
Yeah,
I was trying to look down there, but obviously it's right there on the top, so I don't know what I was thinking.
yeah. The
So
lowest, and this was back in 2011, 500,000.
it doesn't say because our
Oh,
tag thing's in
sorry,
the way, but
sorry. There you go, 501,000.
500,000. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So thought that was kind of interesting there. Let's go into let's see here, sales.
Sail, sail. You know that song?
Sale.
Blame it on the HDD. I don't know what the words are. Yeah. Blame it on my ADD, I think it's.
Now these are
What
sales.
did I say?
Go ahead.
But
I was just gonna say
I
sales
was,
per month.
yeah,
We're
there you
stepping
go.
on each other, aren't we?
Now we're fine. You're good.
Sorry.
I'm quiet. All right. Halfway through the quarter.
Yes. Well, quarter three, we just wrapped that up, right?
Oh, yeah. So we're just getting started in October, November, and December.
Come on. Come on, website. Get it together.
All right.
So single families, I mean, 6,000, you mentioned, 7,000, whatever. So
Yeah.
they're getting pretty
Yeah, there you
much
go.
chewed up as fast as they're getting put on.
And I was telling you, March and April are the hottest months. Look at that up there. So you can see March at 7,500 closings,
Yeah.
almost 8,000. So
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll do now. There's some other like year percentage year over year and stuff like that. I don't know if I want to go through here. We'll just go through here. Sales month by price range. This is actually pretty good. This actually is. I like this chart here on the right hand side. The darker the color, the more expensive the home. So when we scroll down here, obviously the more expensive homes, million and plus
yeah,
or whatever. Let me put it in or whatever.
29 of those.
Yeah, for last quarter or whatever. But you can see the vast majority of the sales are. I didn't know there were $50,000 homes out there, but apparently there are.
That's the most. That's
Well,
amazing.
no,
Well,
no, it's a small little sliver. If you see the highlight there, this is
oh, okay.
yeah,
It's hard to tell, but there it is. Yeah, it's a little lighter. All
yeah.
right. So
So
170.
so between 175 to 200,000, 741 homes sold last month.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah. And if you add it up in the whole quarter, and that's pretty much the probably the hottest price point, right? Although by
Well, it looks like
numbers,
we're
this
below
one,
average.
yeah, this one 250. It's probably the hottest price point. So anything under $300,000 seems to be kind of the norm, if you will.
Well, what's that one right below it? Like the
Oh,
little darker, almost red. Like, let's
this
go
one?
down one more. Yeah. See, that's 1,000, 300 to 400.
Yeah, which is
It's
pretty.
pretty good size too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good size. Anything under conforming. Once you stay on that conforming, then it seems to drop off pretty dramatically.
A lot
Conforming
of these
being
houses that are, oh, I was going to say a lot of these houses that are less than 100,000 are going non-MLS. So these are based on MLS
yeah,
transactions, right? Or
yes, yes,
so go about conforming.
yes. And now we'll look at the sales compared daily here real quick. And that was just an overall number there. I could have broken it down for Scottsdale or whatever. The listings for Scottsdale, I mean, 603,000 as an average sales price. I think that's pretty good
Right.
overall.
Seems like if you're a young realtor, that's probably where you want to focus your business.
Yeah. And Scottsdale has a lot of condos and things like that too. So I thought that was pretty good. This one here, these are just a daily chart here of the number of sales here. That's 2016. The blue line here represents us. So this is last year
Okay.
over here. And then the blue
That's
line
good
here
percent,
is more current. Yeah.
So
So
we're right on the same.
yeah, we're about the same as what we did last year. In fact, we're going to outpace it, I think, maybe a little bit this year as far as sales, which that's a good thing.
Yep.
This time of year. This is where I was saying earlier, I've seen this uptick in applications. Well, I suspect that this number in November will be higher, wherever it's at. If I can get to it, there it is. But look here, this is November 30th. It's quite a bit.
644. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah. Considering, look at that. You said your September, right? 930. And this year,
Right.
791. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. We did see late last night. I don't know if you saw the news or whatever, and we're out of time, but the tax reform got passed, or passed the House or the
Meaning?
Senate or whatever. It didn't pass completely, but it's a first step
Right.
to tax reform. That's going to be, I think, pretty good for these numbers. That may encourage people to purchase or get a pay raise and buy more, that sort of thing. So
I just wasn't sure which reform because there's different stuff that are good and bad out there. So
yeah, it's President Trump's tax plan. Looks like it passed. All right. Well, I don't know. Did you want me to go into any other numbers or anything like that, or?
no, I reflected a little bit too long, but I had to get it off my chest, like you get things off your chest. So
Yeah, no, it's all
happy
good,
to-
man. It's all good.
Um, but we
Builders
can go over
aren't
this
always
stuff
the
again.
answer.
Right. We can go over this stuff again next week too, to see what the people want. Where do you guys want us to look at? What do you guys want us to talk about when it comes to numbers? We'll try to get that taken for you next week sometime.
Yes, yes. These numbers we look at not daily, but we do visit these numbers quite often so that we can stay up to date as to what's happening and be more informed for you, and be a resource for you, which is all about this show too. So with that being said, we're going to wrap today's show up on this Friday, October 20th, 2017. Again, if you stayed with us on the show, thank you very much for choosing us and our content over all the other content that's out there. We really do appreciate that. Please like our page, share with your friends and family who are looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property, as we would love to be their team of choice. And you don't have to be in Arizona to reach out to us. Anywhere across the country, we would love to hear from you. So with that, everybody have a great Friday, great weekend, and we will see you on Monday at 8:30 Arizona time.
Yes, perfect.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. I hit the button.
You did?
I did. End the show. Here we go.